I live in the valley. That means Los Angeles, but north. And I'm starting to kind of get used to it, but when I first got here, there was a huge culture shock. I grew up in Northern Virginia and then went to school in Pennsylvania, so this is a completely opposite side of the coast, and I hear a fire truck. But today I'm going to talk a little about what it's like living in Los Angeles for the first time, because that'll be exciting. Thing number one, it is really, really hot here. People say the valley is warmer than Los Angeles, and they say that because it is a meteorological, it's a weather fact. I am incredibly pale, but here I am not the only one wearing a hat like this under the age of 60, and they look cool doing it. Maybe I don't, but they do. Also, there are like no insects here. There are no mosquitoes buzzing around, gnats and whatnot. I think it's because it's so arid. That's not really a cultural difference at all. I'm just talking about the weather a lot, aren't I? I never promised to be interesting. I guess that was sort of an implicit promise when you watch the video though. I just found this packet of chamomile tea underneath my knee. That's interesting! So we've been talking about temperature. What about temperature inside, and specifically inside of big boxes? I'm talking about refrigerators, not putting people you know in crates. As far as I know, when you rent an apartment, even if it's unfurnished, you get basic things like a sink, a stove, a refrigerator in your kitchen. Well, not in Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, refrigerators are apparently a frivolous addition that you have to buy yourself if you want one. We have one. Actually, we just got a new one. It's really swanky. I'm really bad at opening our new refrigerator because our old one was so crummy. The seal was just barely keeping the door shut. This new one, it is stuck. It is keeping our food cold in a dedicated and serious manner, which I appreciate, don't get me wrong. But I'll walk up to the fridge and I'm like, I can't. Where I grew up in Northern Virginia, it was a pretty ethnically diverse area, including a lot of Hispanic people from all sorts of different countries in Central and South America. We had a lot of Salvadorians, we had Colombians, like you name it, people lived near Washington, D.C. from that country. So you could always tell someone was sort of ignorant and probably a lot racist if they talked about Mexicans instead of Hispanics or Latinos. Imagine my surprise when I get to Los Angeles and start seeing people say Mexicans and they're actually genuinely talking about Mexicans because we're really near to Mexico. I'm just not used to that. Culture shock is when all of the frozen yogurt shops are self-serve. Culture shock is when the default is Disneyland instead of Disney World. Disney World is a real place. Disneyland is probably made up. Out here, there are two different gas prices at a lot of gas stations. One for if you're paying with cash, and then about 5 cents more if you're paying with credit or debit card. Who came up with that? Also, there's this one station in Beverly Hills where you can pay over $5 a gallon because Beverly Hills gas is just better. Street parking is a huge thing in Los Angeles because you can park for 2 hours between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, but on Thursday from 1 to 3 there's street cleaning, so you can't park here, and after 6 it's a towing zone, but none of this applies on Saturday or Sunday. Another thing I've had to deal with since I came out here is time zones. I'm about 3 hours behind. About 3 hours. I'm exactly 3 hours. That's how time zones work. This time zone difference has gotten so ingrained into my brain that whenever I schedule something, I schedule it as if everyone else is living 3 hours in the future. Like my boss will say, okay, we're gonna leave work at 6 today. And I'm like, okay, so that's 3 o'clock for me. We work in the same office. We are probably in the same time zone. Oh, I'm gonna try something new. We're at the end. I say that you should comment on my video. You should also like it and subscribe to my channel and number counting fingers. Why should you do these things? Because it will help other people find my videos, and that would be totally rad if like people watched the videos. Also, non-people, like if you want to get your dog to watch your video, you want to get the ghost of your grandfather who haunts your bedroom to watch the video, like that is fine too. I am really open to any sort of demographic. Like if dead grandfather ghosts are the people who are interested in the life of Leila, I can start doing special videos on haunting